This is the beginning of something huge as the A.J. Brown trade rumors are swirling around social media, and with many teams like the Ravens, Patriots, and Bills having reported interest, this one team and this one trade package makes the most sense for the Philadelphia Eagles going into the 2026 draft. What's going on, guys? Alex Brooks back here with another episode of Eagles Digest as we break down all of this drama surrounding AJ Brown. I know I've been doing a lot of different offseason content for you guys, and it is finally time to talk about some of the drama surrounding AJ Brown because it is reported that he is not feeling the best to be in Philadelphia moving forward as he requested many times a trade last year, and a lot of Eagles fans are really split on the fact of having AJ Brown in Philadelphia or trading him away when his value is the highest. And we'll break down my thoughts surrounding this and an ideal trade package for the Philadelphia Eagles. But before we get into this, we are currently at 1,461 subscribers. Our goal is to be at 1,500 subscribers by the time Super Bowl 60 comes here on Sunday. So if you're tuning into this video and you want to subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified of all of our content, we're going to have so much off-season content for you guys surrounding this Eagles team. So make sure you are up to date and subscribe and hit the like button as well. But getting right into this video as we discuss the trade drama surrounding AJ Brown. Obviously, AJ Brown signed an extension last offseason, really wanting to stay in Philadelphia after the Super Bowl, and the Eagles were able to make a deal. But right now, with all of the drama surrounding him and all of the rumors surrounding AJ Brown, there is definitely something that is going to end up happening, whether he is staying or he does end up getting traded. And I feel like the latter is going to be true surrounding number 11 because he did not feel the greatest in that wild card game. He wasn't getting the ball at the beginning of the season. And then when he was getting the ball, the Eagles weren't winning. And he was really becoming out of touch during that wild card loss against the San Francisco 49ers. He just wasn't mentally in the game. And it just seems like he definitely just didn't have a good season mentally. And that definitely went over to the game action, and he wasn't able to perform at the highest, even having 1,000 yards. And this kind of just goes over to Sean Mannion and what he wants to have from this offense. Obviously, with AJ Brown, the talent wise, the offense is going to be productive. With him out of the lineup and the Eagles trading him away, the Eagles will have a less productive offense just by talent wise, because the number one wide receiver in there will be DeVonta Smith, who I definitely think could be a number one star wide receiver in this Eagles offense, but you're already putting your team at a disadvantage. So there's a lot of different types of contradictions when you look at the possible AJ Brown going to be traded or he is going to stay here. But there is definitely a situation where if you are Howie Roseman, you could entertain a really good trade package out of any sort of team. I mean, the Eagles, you definitely need to get a first round pick for AJ Brown and you got to work the money around. But I think this one trade package could really benefit both the team who I'm going to mention is the Los Angeles Chargers and the Philadelphia Eagles. And talking about this trade proposal, this is from Tony Adame at heavy.com saying Brown's discontent with the way the offense is run pretty poorly about half the time is why Bleacher Reports Alex Ballentine put Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver and former first round pick Quentin Johnston at the top of the list of trade targets for the Eagles. In this scenario, the Eagles likely get Johnston and a first round pick or Johnston and multiple second round picks in return for AJ Brown. So when we put it all together, when we talk about a mock trade for the Philadelphia Eagles and Los Angeles Chargers, here is my mock trade that I would see if the Eagles are sending over AJ Brown to the Los Angeles Chargers. So it goes like this. The Eagles will receive the 2026 first round pick number 22 for the Los Angeles Chargers, and they receive Quentin Johnston. I think that is a perfect type of scenario for the Philadelphia Eagles. You get a first round pick for a top 3 wide receiver in this league, and you also get a receiver who is trending upwards. To start his career, he had a lot of drops, and he really was looking like he was going to be benched and not a clear factor. But this year, it was his most production that he's had in his career, terms of volume, terms of game action. He really stepped it up this year, and I think the Eagles can bank on that with Quentin Johnston. And then for the Los Angeles Chargers, they get A.J. Brown. They get a true number one weapon outside of Ladd McConkey for Justin Herbert. And you have a new offense coordinator in Mike McDaniel, who you can develop a relationship there. And the Eagles would give up the 2026 fourth round pick, number 137. I think that this is something where you look at the fourth round pick. I think the Eagles would just throw that in there because just to get a little bit more of that deal to work out. So you would get a first round pick and Quentin Johnston for A.J. Brown and a fourth round pick. I think that is definitely a win-win for both teams because Chargers, they get a top 3 wide receiver at the top of his game right now. And for the Eagles, you get to reset and kind of get the drama out of your locker room, as well as getting back-to-back picks in the first round with number 22 and number 23. So when we look over to Quentin Johnston, when we talk about his rise to a wide receiver 2, fringe wide receiver 1. I mean, he was definitely someone who came out of the blue. He was written off in 2023 and 2024, came out in 2025, and he didn't drop a lot of passes, and he was a very productive, solid wide receiver for Justin Herbert. Obviously, the Chargers offense kind of went by the wayside when they lost their offensive line tackles, but he definitely was a big production guy this year and really one of the weapons that Justin Herbert relied on in 2025. And then when we look at just the makeup of Quentin Johnston, what I want to kind of share with you guys is that, you know, he's a Chargers wide receiver from 2023 to 2025. He's a former first round pick. 2025 stats: 51 receptions, 735 yards, and 8 touchdowns. He also had 14.4 yards per reception, which was a career high. So he's been able to kind of get more out in space and be able to take the top off of defenses, which is something that you really want to see in a new age type of offense. He's obviously younger than A.J. Brown, and he can pair up with DeVonta Smith. And his career stats: 144 receptions, 1877 yards, and 18 touchdowns. So having 8 touchdowns this year, that is nothing to sneeze at from a guy who is really trying to make a name for himself and really be productive for the Los Angeles Chargers. If he goes over to Philadelphia, he will probably move into that wide receiver 2 spot, has the height. DeVonta Smith will probably take the number 1 corner and be the number 1 guy for Jalen Hurts because he is definitely someone that I could see just from this year. He could go leaps and bounds and be a real true top 5 wide receiver in this league. I'm totally confident in his size and his speed and just whatever he is able to bring. So Quentin Johnston going over to the Philadelphia Eagles would make this room a lot better. I mean, his size, his structure, he could be a wide receiver 1, but would be a wide receiver 2 behind DeVonta Smith. So, and he's also a free agent after 2026. He was drafted in 2023. He would be a free agent after 2026. So if he doesn't work out with the Philadelphia Eagles, no harm, no foul. You get a first round pick in 2026. That is the most ideal value when looking at an A.J. Brown trade. And then, you know, looking over to the Eagles draft picks inside the top 100s with an A.J. Brown trade, you get pick number 22. You have pick number 23, pick 54 in the second round, and then 2 third-round picks at pick 68 and pick 98. So you have 5 draft selections in the top 100, and you have back-to-back selections in the 22 and 23 if you're able to get this type of trade, because this would be the most ideal because you have a lot of holes to fill when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. You have an offensive tackle, you have a tight end, you could go with a need with an offensive tackle, and then you could go a value pick with a wide receiver if a wide receiver is falling and you're really confident about that. We know Howie Roseman loves to trade. So in this scenario, you could use one of those picks to go and trade up for a wide receiver, top wide receiver in this draft. Or if you feel like you could pick back-to-back players, you have the choice when it comes to number 22, the pick number 22 in the first round. So definitely a lot of information that I just gave to you guys regarding an AJ Brown trade. I know that, the fan base right now is very split. And right now, I feel like at this point in February, I'm very split because I would love to get the value out of an AJ Brown trade because I think that the Eagles could get a first round pick or multiple second round picks. But at the end of the day, you're losing a lot in the talent wise. And I think AJ Brown, he can go next year and and kind of rewrite his story in Philadelphia and retire a Philadelphia Eagle. So legacy versus, reality right now is just kind of boggling my mind. But I want to know your thoughts surrounding this trade and this episode. But that's going to do it for another edition of Eagles Digest. Wanted to raise the question to you guys. Will the Eagles trade AJ Brown this offseason, and to what team? Comment your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think regarding AJ Brown and a trade to the Los Angeles Chargers or any other team that you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified. And as always, let's go Birds.